sorry, why do we not stay awake longer? Like if we stay awake longer, we could do more stuff and live longer, right? Yeah, live longer. Oh, what? That doesn't make sense. Like, why did nature make us sleep? Like, if we stay awake at night and morning, we could do more stuff. We could, yeah, get more food so that our community stays alive. So why did nature do us so bad? Why did it make us not stay awake at night? Most people say you evolve to have sleep because it does energy conservation. But like if you stay awake at night, you can get more energy from the wild. You could collect more from berries, hunt more, get more food. So why? Like, okay, what else? They say it helps from predators, like if we sleep at night, but like isn't that always like in the morning or night it's the same thing, but at night they might have an advantage, so you would want to stay awake, wouldn't you? That's why a lot of us have different sleep cycles, because some people have to stay awake to watch out for other people, so we have different time cycles. Some people might have very late cycles because their ancestors were like the late watchers. So why did this happen? Why do we stay awake? Why did we evolve to have brain health? They say, people say brain health, right? You evolve to have brain health because making connections and everything, but you are kind of doing the connection. You're doing it more while you're sleeping, but you're doing the same thing when you're awake. People say energy conservation, but according to new research studies, we use the same amount of energy while we are sleeping, while we're awake, running and doing stuff. We're using the same amount of energy while we are sleeping or at night. Okay, and as for people say brain health, like making connection within your brain, you're making memories, and the brain is just like saying, I'm gonna do all this connection later at night. So what does that imply? Like at night, other than like making sure you're alive, does it do anything? Does it more other than keeping you alive? Like the first time it evolved to have night, for whatever reason, it would have nothing to do. So what does it do? It wanted faster reflexes. Like in the morning you have to hunt more, so it's evolving to hunt more. So it can do like those connections, like making those connections within your brain while you're hunting, right? Like even the fraction of second matters while you're hunting. So wouldn't it be that it's because of it evolved to optimize for hunting? So it made the hard calculations. It delegated all those hard calculations at night, so it can optimize for hunting in the day. But why did it evolve at night? The big idea. You evolved to have sleep, you evolved to sleep in the beginning. Now let's think about two situations: a 12-hour day and night cycle creature and a 24-hour creature. What does the day and night creature, like we, evolved to do? Like we are hunting in the day, okay, and at night we just sleep. So we are just like doing one thing, hunting, getting food in the day, and we're doing that. And we need to see in the light, in the morning, light comes out, so we have to see in the night. We have to walk with muscles. For a 24-hour creature, what did it have? It had to evolve for day and night. It has to be able to see in the night very clearly, and in the day, do you see, there's going to be obviously going to be trade-offs. So evolution just picked either one to optimize for. There were some creatures that evolved for like a transition for both, but they still picked like a twilight zone or something. They picked like a situation to evolve for. Why? Because it's easier. It makes sure that those creatures survive more often. Like if a creature optimized for both, it could survive, but it was much more likely for the creature to survive if it picked one or the other, because it made it's like you doing a job. you did a job, let's say you went to work, like in like if you were doing like making the food for McDonald's, doing making the software for your Mac, like writing the Mac software, and making the washing machine, and making the your house, and making your phone, and making semiconductors, and transistors. Are you able to be the best in each and every one of them? Tell me. No, right? See, you're not going to be the best. And the specialized species, creatures, tend to survive more often. Similar to how, like, a coder survived, like a coder who optimized for code survived, like he can make money because he's good at that. But it's much more rare for you to have like 9 tentacles to do a job. Like you have like suboptimal tasks you have to move, like moving the muscles and like moving your hands and also thinking. There are some multiple tasks you have to optimize for, which trade-offs are there. But like day and night, you're optimizing for the dark way and the night. Think about it. Like in the night, there's no light. You can't see. And in the day, there's light. And everything's moving. Like they're very different environments. And you trying to like evolution trying to like doing the trade-offs has gave us the result that when animals are active, diurnal, nocturnal, crepuscular. Okay, so when animals are active, humans can be active at all hours of the day and night. Some are busy working during the day, whilst others a night shift. What about our furry friends from the animal kingdom? Are some animals only active during the daytime, and which animals get on with their lives during the hours of darkness and even before the sun rises? Let's discover more about when animals are active in my helpful post, giving you all you need to know about when the animal kingdom gets busy. Here's a quick roundup to start us off. Around 70% of the animals are active at night, nocturnal. Okay. Diurnal animals are active during daylight hours. Crepuscular refer to animals active around dusk. Vespertine and at dawn, matutinal. Catemural or metaturnal animals active varies based on behaviors and other factors. Animals vary in their active hours due to many factors. We'll explore these a little more shortly. Let's start exploring more about why animals similar to their shift working humans. During the different active periods during 24 hours, here's an infographic that outlines the approximate periods of day and night when these periods occur. When animals are active, diurnal, nocturnal. Okay, why animals are active at different times days. In general, evolution has taken place which fully takes advantage of all opportunities. The unique roles of each animal has evolved to ensure that you utilize and optimize their environment and the world around. For this reason, some creatures take advantage of daylight hours, others, roughly 70%, have evolved to live and hunt in the darker, cooler, and more humid nighttime, sharing the environment. Lighter, warmer, and drier environments of daytime suits many creatures, including most of the primate kingdom. By sharing the load day and night, animals can max out their environment and occupy same territory without need. This when it comes challenge for food hunting and hunting. Animals' activity many factors. Animals pick on many factors. These can include temperature, prey, predators, light levels, humidity. The ecosystem makes use of symbiotic activity times. The whole ecosystem is designed in intricate measures around these kinds of concepts. For example, plants follow rules evolved by their diurnal and nocturnal pollinators. Many flowers will open during the morning and in order to attract bees that are more active during the earlier part of the day. Alternatively, some flowers like the moonflower during the evening until after sunrise in order to attract nighttime pollinators. They even have white flowers that help them to be found at night, and often fragrances from the night bloomers can be heightened. So let's explore deeper by looking at creatures that are ready to create their day when the sun comes up. Diurnal. Diurnal creatures wake up and sleep with the rising and setting of the sun. For instance, a turtle may be diurnal because it is cold-blooded, so it will need to acclimatize to the temperature around it, but also to warm itself. It needed to bask in the sunlight. That means it has to be awake, active during the day. Bald eagles and hawks are also awake with the sunrise, as this is when their prey is active, such as squirrels and chimps. Diurnal animals function less easily at night. The level of light intensity can be orders of magnitude dimmer at night. So although animals who have adapted to living in darker hours of the nighttime can distinguish the difference between colors and contrasts of the nocturnal world, diurnal diurnal animals have limited ability. It's interesting to understand that some diurnal animals are able to distinguish anything at all. Circadian timing system. Along with their nocturnal cousins, diurnal animals share a common circadian timing system, which what we have more commonly known as a body clock, which controls behavior rhythms such as sleeping, waking, feeding, fasting physiology. As I mentioned earlier, most primates are diurnal, which include humans. Other common diurnal creatures include many mammals, birds, and reptiles. Being busy during both day and night is the most common animal activity group. Nocturnal. Initially, most animals were diurnal, but adaptations that allowed some animals to become nocturnal are why many especially mammals evolved successfully. This move to nighttime living and hunting allowed animals to avoid certain predators and hunt with less competition. Nocturnal animals have developed over the years with many useful traits to help them live and be active in the dark, including visual sensitivity to distinguish colors and to detect faint movements, learning visual landmarks, orienting to faint polarization pattern produced by the moon, navigating by using constellation stars in the sky. Body clock and nocturnal animal activity. As we saw earlier, it's the body clock or circadian rhythm that's responsible for the ability for nocturnal animals to change their behavior in response to light and dark. Nocturnal animals also has clocks within the internal organs such as pancreas, heart, and liver, which help to determine when it's active, either feeding or fasting during the hours of darkness. Examples of nocturnal animals are bats, skunks, aardvarks, and owls. You will find another list of examples further below. Let's move on to crepuscular. Okay, let me just crepuscular. Crepuscular. After I've thoroughly researched this, and I have found no other than no creature that stays the same at day and night. No creature. Like, every creature has a different system for day and night. That means we know for a fact that there are other sources too, that day and night are distinct environments that a creature can survive unless it changes its system to adapt to each environment. Okay? Second part. There are nocturnal animals, there are morning animals, there's diurnal animals are like us, who stay awake at the night, and some in sleep or doing something with low energy at night. Almost doing not low energy, more like not moving as much, like sleep or other inactivity. Nocturnal animals are animals that are staying awake at night and sleeping at in the morning. Okay. Yeah, whenever the environment changes, like bears, like in the winter they sleep, because that's not the environment they evolved for. They evolved for like the summer. So over the years, the bears population that survived, like in the winter, that survived more often than the creatures that didn't sleep in the winter. And that's why we have this hibernation for bears. That's how it happened. Okay? So that happened to us too. So the creatures that stay the same at day and night didn't survive as much. But why now? Then, well, like, we don't need that, right? Like, right now at day and night we can put on the light. We have AC. Day and night the environment is the same for us. Yeah, as long as we keep the lights on, we're gonna stay awake. The lights signal to us it's daytime. Okay? As long as you're not tired and everything. Because why do we need, at the beginning we evolve, like we all creatures picked a day or night or in between, which is like a twilight or midnight. There are in between. Some evolved to be stay awake in betweens, but mostly day, night, in between, like midnight. And yeah, diurnal, nocturnal. We are staying awake all night. But right now we don't need that. Right now we need to stay awake day and night. Like, we have to stay awake day and night. How can we do that? Because why can't we do that right now? It's because the body has evolved to do something. As I said, in the morning it hunts, in the night it doesn't. And as it was optimizing for hunting, evolution said that the creatures that only thought about like on the point decisions, like I need to fighting, but like memories of the day, memories of locations, maps and everything, writing drawings or things that it saw, for it to put it in the brain, it evolved to do it at night, because that led to more efficiency through the day, on the day, and more creatures survive. Remember, most of the points in our brain were evolved when we were animals. We were creatures, like we were four-legged creatures. Even before monkeys, a lot of the stuff evolved then. So how do we change this? Okay, one thing, when I stay awake at like in the night, these days, the light helps. It signals to the brain it's daytime. But I feel after like a day or two, I feel tired. Why is that? It's because the body has evolved to do like the memory, as I said, and it has evolved to make it like chemicals so that we sleep at night, so that it can do the memory stuff at night, so that you're ready for tomorrow's hunt. So as long as we make our brain to do all those connecting memories, neural networks at night using our technology somehow, we don't need to sleep at night. Like obviously we also need to cut out the process of making us sleep, the adrenaline, the increase in adrenaline. And in the research paper that I read, it says learning is an essential process of human species, but sleep is essential to the consolidation of memories. You have to understand, AI right now is doing great memorization and fast recollection of those memories. But it's process of augmenting, I guess. Yeah, augmenting those memories to have understanding is very bad, leading it to have it not be as good as us. But it is good for our daily tasks and like writing and everything. It's good for that, because we have a lot of training data on text, we have a lot of training data on images, so it can have fast recollection of parts of the bodies and make a structure that is presentable for us. But in the future we have to make a picture, like we have to make an AI that is better than us. That means it has to be able to like consolidate those memories into a new neural structure that can really use it. Right now, like it takes an input, it gives it an output. It's pretty random. Like the way of how the neural networks, the connections are like how it makes the decisions of making an image is very weird if you see it from an image. Like if we go into a AI neural network, you would see that the image, like a circle, is made of 4 pizza slices. Okay, 4 pizzas. We would see it as 4 pizzas, right? That's good understanding. But AI doesn't have that. It might just like and put it together, it's a circle. And it happens to be that works out most of the time. And on that level it works out, like simple circles. I'm simplifying the topic, so don't think that is the whole thing. You could optimize for that pretty good. I'm saying this is, as you go higher and higher levels, this doesn't work. You have to have understanding of the stuff. Like you have to know that these pieces make the circle. You have to know that, so that you could build bigger and bigger circles or something, or make a better program or AI or something. Okay? Yeah, I'm going to. Learning is essential for the humans. Learning Learning is an essential process for the human species, and sleep is essential for the consolidation of memories. Yet it is not sleep, but rather sleep architecture that has co-evolved with learning and other recuperative and other recuperative processes to its present state to optimize these processes for each species. Adaptive theories of sleep have never really taken a hold, while research on recuperative psychological theories have exploded. Physiological theories have exploded, possibly due to the fact that recuperative theories are so much more testable than adaptive. And this new theory may open a window for experimentation. While difficult, my theory is testable, both my experimental and investigative methods. If we had evolved on a planet with no days-night cycles, would we still sleep? Unfortunately, we are a long way from being able to perform that experiment now, if ever. For seasonal variations, and the experimental has been done. Do organisms that live in constant climate need change physiology twice a year? Of course not. Would they need to? No. As you can see, there are 4 seasons. There's a lot of different environments that are building up, and there's also a bigger environment shift day and night. Fucking, why would your body stay the same? Like, would it change so much? Would you sleep if you are at night? No, you wouldn't. Why can I say that? Because I have been waking up, like, I have been not sleeping a lot these days, like day and night. I've been just wondering, like thoughts have been coming to my head. I'm just like not sleeping. Why? There's a difference. When the light's on, I'm awake. I'm like myself. There's like, let me quickly watch his video. So I really need to make it fast. My ear is gonna go out. I'm telling you, this fucking thing is gonna go out. Oh shit! I know I'm not gonna come to this again if I take this off. I know it. Like, I know me, and I know it. Oh, that's why I'm like, why? I don't wanna. Who is he? Like, I don't remember his name. I remember his face. Okay, I'm gonna just like Cleo Abraham. I'm telling you, women have it so much harder than men. Or like, yeah, job applications, yeah, they might have some places might have bias, but men also have that in other places. But like, when they're little, having earplugs like this, like, I feel like I am right now. I want to remove this. I know I removed this before and it fucking hurts. I'm gonna put this in the bloopers, me removing it. But that area, and them being able to, like, I went to a function, like a festival type of shit, home warming. I went to a home warming. It's my dad's friend's house, and her daughter was wearing metal ear things. They were like this big right here, and on top of that she was wearing like wig extenders, hair extenders. I guess they were like weird. Something was happening with the hair extenders, like it wasn't like normally put out or something. And after, she was doing pretty good, like the first hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, I think. But soon after, it was like, ow, 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 ow. Soon after it, she just said, she couldn't hold it. Like, now I'm recognizing, just after like 44 minutes, I'm like hurting. I'm just recognizing she put that on for hours. Man, hours. And putting a hole and everything. And yeah, that would have hurt. Ow. There's no hole. Ow, ow.
Champion of the sun. So we're in this daytime battlefield, and you're making a bunch of decisions. We've talked about that. Let's see what's happening here in the brain. When you're making decisions, there's an electronic signal, like a pulse, that is traveling between regions of the brain along these wires called neurons. You've got like almost 100 billion of these things, and they all are forming this giant network, tons of connections. And they all send signals to each other. That is what decisions and actions are. But in order to send these signals between the different parts of the brain, you need a very important chemical called glutamate. Glutamate makes all of this happen. It's a neurotransmitter. It helps everything talk to each other. But look, after you make the decision, the glutamate kind of sticks around. And as you make more and more decisions, glutamate starts to build up and it starts to clog the system, which new research suggests makes decisions harder because the whole system is clogged, which makes you feel fatigued. Make a bunch of decisions, you feel tired, even if you didn't lift a finger. It's like as if your brain were a big city. All of these roads are the neurons and synapses that you use to make decisions. It's all functioning nicely, everyone can flow, but the more decisions you make, the more trash you produce. And the trash starts to pile up. Trash collectors will eventually move this trash out, but if you're producing a ton of trash, it starts to pile up, and it eventually starts to block the streets, making it much harder for the cars to move along, meaning for your brain activity to do what it's supposed to do, for you to make decisions. This is what it looks like when you're really tired. It's 11:30 a.m. here at my desk, and I've made so many decisions. I haven't done any strenuous work, but I'm drowning in glutamate and feeling tired. By the way, this is like brand new research from the Paris Brain Institute, and it is still being worked out how this works or exactly what it looks like. You can check my sources to fact check everything I say in this video, but look at this paper specifically. It's pretty interesting. So I'm going to jot this down on my list of why we're so tired. I'll be making this list and the solutions on what we can do about it.
Glutamate does
have a solve for this. It's called biphasic sleep, which is just a cool sounding name for a nap in the afternoon. People usually around like the Mediterranean take naps from the hours of like 2 to 5. They rest, they reset. Research found that people who take siestas have increased brain functioning and are 37% less likely to die of heart disease. But here in the United States, we pledge to not sleep on the job. We will never take naps like those failing socialist countries in the Mediterranean. No. The hustle never stops here in America. Sorry, I recently watched Top Gun and I'm just feeling really patriotic right now.
That's right. I am dangerous.
So our brains, which are the same as Johnny Caveman's brains, aren't totally set up to make all of these decisions without feeling very tired. I mean, it kind of makes sense. We've got these caveman brains living in 2024. It's called evolutionary mismatch. Our brains haven't caught up with our lifestyle, with our world, and all of the decisions that we are required to make to just be normal, modern humans. So what do we do about this? Well, you can take siestas, which is like not something I can do in my life. I'm just not set up for it here. Sorry, guys. But that would be a way to clear out some glutamate and reset. But the biggest takeaway for me is just limit how many decisions I have to make every day, which is not easy, but there definitely are ways to do it. I've started choosing the outfits that I'm going to wear for the week on Sunday, so that in the morning when I wake up, I'm just like, oh, the outfit's already chosen. Or you could go full Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg style and just wear one thing so that you can have a closet that looks like this. Which, meal planning, that's another one. On a Sunday, we've started like writing down every meal we're going to have during the week. And that makes life way easier when you're at the end of a day of work and you are feeling tired. big theme in today's video is information. How much information our brains are met with these days, and even as a tired. And it's like this. It's like writing down every meal we're gonna have during the week. And that makes life way easier when you're at the end of a day of work and you are feeling tired. A big theme in today's video is information. How much information our brains are met with these days. And even as a journalist, it's my job, and I get stressed out by the amount of information out there. One of the tools we use to sift through all of this is actually the sponsor of today's video. And Ground News is a website and an app that takes news stories from have to make every day, which is not easy, but there definitely are ways to do it. I've started choosing the outfits that I look for. This is called evolutionary mismatch. The hustle never stops here in America. Things aren't totally set up to make all of these decisions without feeling very tired. I mean, it kind of makes sense. We've got these caveman brains living in 2024. This is called evolutionary mismatch. Our brains haven't caught up with our lifestyle, with our world, and all of the decisions that we're required to make to just be normal modern humans. So what do we do about this? Well, you can take siestas, which is like not something I can do in my life. I'm just not set up for it here. Sorry, guys. But that would be a way to clear out some glutamate and reset. But the biggest takeaway for me is just limit how many decisions I have to make every day, which is not easy, but there definitely are ways to do it. I've started choosing the outfits that I'm going to wear for the week on Sunday, so that in the morning when I wake up, I'm just like, oh, the outfit's already chosen. Or you can go full Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg style and just wear one thing so that you can have a closet that looks like this. Which, meal planning, that's another one. On a Sunday, we've started like writing down every meal we're going to have during the week. And that makes life way easier when you're at the end of a day of work and you are feeling tired. A big theme in today's video is information. How much information our brains are met with these days. And even as a journalist, it's my job, and I get stressed out by the amount of information out there. One of the tools we use to sift through all the news bubble than everyone else. The Blind Spot feed helps you see this by giving you articles that you wouldn't naturally do. Ground News, it eventually wears out, and it the Vantage plan, which is all of these tools I've talked about today. So thank you, Ground News, for sponsoring today's video. With that, let's dive back in to why we are so tired. There's one more chemical we have to talk about for this daytime battle, and it's called adenosine. It is this very clever evolutionary feature of our brain that's basically like a signal to our brain. Adenosine. It tells us when it's time to rest. As you go throughout your day, thinking and doing things, this adenosine builds up, and it kind of signals to your brain that you're tired. Signals that you should feel sleepy and hopefully makes you go to sleep. But being industrious humans focused on progress, we found a substance that will block the buildup of adenosine. It's called caffeine, making caffeine the most popular drug in the world. It blocks adenosine, this natural signal of you should be tired and sleep, and allows us to keep operating as if the adenosine doesn't exist. But guess what? The caffeine doesn't last forever. It eventually wears out. And all of this adenosine that had built up comes flooding into your brain like a megaphone saying, hey, you're really tired, and we're finally able to tell you. This is called the afternoon crash. My solution to this is like the greatest thing in the world, and it's called a coffee nap. When you nap, your body gets rid of the adenosine. It's like the adenosine clearing hour. And if you drink caffeine, then you get this like multiplier effect where all the adenosine is gone and the caffeine just comes in and doesn't have to block any adenosine. It's just ready to like, we're clearing hour. And if you drink caffeine, then you get this like multiplier effect where all the adenosine is gone and the afternoon crash. My solution to this is like the greatest thing in the world, and it's called a coffee nap. When you nap, your body gets rid of the adenosine. It's like the adenosine clearing hour. And if you drink caffeine, then you get this like multiplier effect where all the adenosine is gone and the caffeine just comes in and doesn't have to block any adenosine. It's just ready to like hype you up. Drink a quick coffee, lay down for just 15 minutes. It's amazing. Coffee naps, add it to the list. The other option is to drink your coffee a little bit like later than you would. Like, don't drink it right as you wake up. Drink it between the hours of 9 and 11 a.m. so that it lasts until you're done with work and then you can have your coffee crash. Okay, so that is our daytime battle. Glutamate builds up because we make so many decisions. Adenosine builds up because we don't let it clear out. We block the signals because of caffeine. Our modern world doesn't like us naturally clearing these things out, so we feel really tired. Now let's get to the nighttime battle.
Adenosine.
Everyone says we should get 7 or 8 hours of sleep, but when you go to bed and when I go to bed is probably
Adenosine
back in the
gland.
Johnny Caveman days. Groups of humans couldn't leave their camp unattended at night. So we evolved to have different sleep times so that some of us could stay awake and guard the camp and others could sleep. And then we could switch off. Today what that looks like is that I go to bed at 10:30 and I wake up at 6:30. You may be a night owl and you want to go to bed at 1 in the morning, or you may want to go to bed at 9 a.m. These are called chronotypes, and there are roughly 4 of them. Everyone has a slightly different interpretation of what. The fact is, we're not all the same when it comes to when we go to bed. And yet, we all live in a society that wants us to be the same. Our standard workday, 9 to 5, was conversion to be capitalism said we are now. What's the solution? Evolutionary mismatch, once again. So I'm going to write chronotypes down on my list. What's the solution here? Find out what your chronotype is. You probably already know what it is. Take this test online. I'll give you a QR code here. You can scan this, take a test. Maybe aligning your lifestyle with your chronotype could help. It definitely matters. Sleep and memory. Adenosine. Oh, it's on my desk because I've got a little more work to tend. But I need some time to wind down. Here I am making more decisions on Netflix. And look, even though it's nighttime outside, this giant TV screen is emitting light. My brain thinks this is the sun. It thinks it's daytime. So it blocks the release of melatonin. Melatonin's a chemical that we need to shift our brain from wakefulness to sleep. Finally, after some Netflix, I feel like I've wound down and I'm gonna go to bed. It's 2 a.m. I turn off the TV and I get a little bit of melatonin, but not nearly enough to feel tired. I've got a ton of adenosine in my brain, but it's not registering. I should be feeling tired, but all this adenosine is blocked by the caffeine I had earlier. One more look at my phone to set my alarm. Gotta check Instagram really quick. Eventually the caffeine wears off, the adenosine comes flooding in, and I fall right asleep. But it's now 3 a.m. My body goes through the important process of clearing out all these chemicals. It's a slow process. I need time to do this. My body's making great progress, and then it's been 5 hours, which is just not enough time for our bodies to take out all the trash. My brain still kind of looks like this. I'm going to start my day with all of the residual glutamate chemicals swirling around in my brain as I start to make new decisions and accumulate more glutamate, more adenosine that I'm going to block with caffeine. So I guess I'm going to add the obvious one to my list. Get enough sleep.
Okay, I should have stopped the recording, right? I should have. I didn't. Okay, adenosine, melatonin. Okay. What does it say about this? So our brain has like chemicals that like glutamate that builds up when you make decisions. And there's another chemical, adenosine, which also builds up as you like awake more awake, and then as it builds up, then it like goes into interceptors, and you feel tired. And cafe is one of the chemicals that takes those receptors to stop you from being tired. But eventually it comes, coffee wears off and you're just dead because of the coffee. Yeah, I'm realizing that the reason why I'm not like tired more often or something might be because I'm making less decisions overall in my day. Like I just leave a lot of the decisions to my dad, like what curry to make, and Others make a lot of my decisions. The only decisions I made, very few. Okay. So clearing out the adenosine, if as long as you make, and glutamate too, so that you can make more decisions, like good decisions. Like as you get more and more glutamate, you're gonna make it's gonna be harder to make decisions. And as you get more and more adenosine, what is adenosine again? Fuck you, Shiva. Fuck you. It's a chemical that makes you tired. The adenosine is so that you feel tired and you take a nap, signaling. And melanin is required to shift you from a nap, like day to nap. And the light blocks the amount of light blocks a chemical called melatonin to come into being. So it stops you from shifting from day to night. So in the future, if you're trying to win against AI, let's say we figured out a way to make the neural networks understand, make sure the structures of how it's making decisions is clear. Right now, the decision, how it's making decisions, is unclear, and from what scientists can see, it's weird. It's making decisions on weird metrics. As I said, the wonky lines all together becoming a circle. What? It's just this. That's all. 4 pizza slices, and you have a 7 or 6 or 7, whatever cuts you to make. You understand? 2 cuts. That type of understanding, when we integrate to AI, it becomes much more dependable, and AI is going to eventually become AGI, meaning same as us, okay, or better. Since they can do day and night, we are going to make them day and night, work day and night, since they don't have to feel the air, feel the night. Okay, got it. So what else? So how do we shift our brain so that we could work day and night, or at least, sleep might become the past. Sleep might become just like history. Once upon a time, half our time we wasted it by resting. That could be a saying in the future. That could be like laughing about in a bar. That could be it. So how would we do it is the question. Okay, melatonin is shifting our daytime to nighttime, which is based on light. That's something we have to change. And adenosine is the thing that helps us make sure, are we tired or not? Have we done a lot of work? Do we need rest? Have our neural networks acquired a lot of memory that needs processing? So when it's the right time, it's gonna say tired, sleep, so we could do this work. These are the signaling chemicals, melatonin and adenosine. Those can be stopped only if the stuff that the sleep does, that we have to make it do them while we're awake or something. What is it then? As you all, memory processing in long term, short term, we have to do that so that we could do decisions right now. Okay, that we have to delegate to something else. If we had some type of stuff that can do that, that would be incredible. And something that can stop glutamate, that can clear up the glutamate buildup, nanobots or something. In the future, we are going to have nanobots go into our brain and everything. If they can just clear out on while everything's going on, find a way, a loophole or something, That would be incredible again. And we are able to make much more clearer decisions. That's one. That's two. And like, what else? Understanding comes from neural networks. Understanding comes from neural networks, like changing their, like how neurons are connected. That is dependent on what you learn and like how you understand it, and their communication and communication and everything. Melanin. It's a very hard problem. It's not an easy one. I hope by making this video I can make this problem available to the world. I know that I'm probably not going to solve this, obviously. Or even if I solve it, it's going to take a long time. How would I solve it anyway? Okay, there are a few platforms I need to have for this to work. One platform is a neural network platform. We need to have a lot of data from the brain. That's obviously, like, where is the glutamate being going? We have to have a lot of data. It's not like 1-2 experiments or anything. We have to have a lot for this product to ever go into being. I'm gonna call this switch on sleep. Switch on sleep. That's gonna be the movement. Okay. Switch off sleep. That could be it. Off sleep. That could also be it. Okay. Switch off sleep. That's gonna be the tagline. Switch off sleep. How would we do it? If this project switch off sleep is, we need to have a lot of data about the movement, like at the variations between each human, where glutamate is going, where adenosine is going, and how is melatonin shifting from day to night based on light. And based on that, we need another system that can adapt them. We're gonna adapt them to be better. In the beginning, it's gonna probably be something simpler. MVP, minimum viable product, is gonna be something like, instead of coffee, like, we give melatonin. We give them to sleep. So to not sleep, we could give some chemical that decreases the level of melatonin, right? And like adenosine, we have coffee. We already have minimum viable products to switch off sleep, but we have to have like a health benefits type of thing. Next product would be clearing up buildup. We have two things already stopped. The indicators, what do you call it? Adenosine, and we cleared out that adenosine. The indicators to us, we have to sleep, adenosine and melatonin. We found ways for that, but we have to have a way to clear out the glutamate buildup, if we are able to make that, we can make our decisions much faster. That's gonna just make our world much more efficient. That could be MVP, and then slowly we could add other ways of like, for a long time we have to sleep to make our neural networks in our brains better. We have to sleep to change them, understanding and everything. We have to sleep for that, because it's like trillions of neural networks, trillions of neurons. Changing each of them to work for us is gonna be incredibly, what the fuck how are you gonna do that? Neurons, change them somehow. We could have something like outside neural interface that we could work on, I guess. It can like access information at night, since we dream and everything. Like, using that dream structure, we could access information at night. Another computing device at the side to access it, and we could work on something at night. And while that understanding part is happening, AI is also gonna have this problem. We are gonna have to have it understand. It has to have the two phases: getting information and a big understanding phase, like understanding the information, making sure that the neural network understands what the fuck it's getting. It can get hundreds of millions of papers, but if it doesn't understand and it's just memorizing, route memorization is a thing. Like, there's two things. You could memorize a paper like 100 pages long by reading it again and again and again and again and again. You could do that like an AI. But at the same time, a person who has like divided it into subparts and like highlighted stuff and everything, he understands it better, so he can apply it better. That's the difference between AI and human right now. And there's also other differences, obviously, like it can do computing day and night since it's just a model. And yeah, it's much more copyable, I guess. Yeah, the future is something, isn't it? Yeah. I'm hopeful for it. Enjoy. See ya.